1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury.
Good evening. Welcome to the Game Week 33 deadline stream. There's only 5 to go after this. The deadline is 6 p.m. UK time, so don't miss it because that will be very annoying. How are we all? I'm probably going to roll, I think, which seems a little bit rubbish, but that's kind of how it is. So, yeah. Wildcard active. Hopefully my season bursts into fire. That sounds like a bad thing. Like, if it's burst into fire, that's done. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Anyway, how are we all? Nice and early midweek stream today. Start a Kanji or Shaw? Probably a Kanji. What would I do if I had Kepa and Steele? I'd play Steele. I think with goalkeepers, it's not really too much of a worry, right? If Sanchez starts, Steele's not going to come on. You'd be pretty unlucky. Ray or Kepa, I think I'd play the guy at home. Play Kepa. Haaland versus Salah captain. Go whichever one you want. It's pretty close. I think Haaland's better, though, for what it's worth. But if you want to go a little bit differential, this could be the week to do it. No issues with that whatsoever. Am I insane? Insane to captain Watkins? No, not insane. Not insane. Oh, I just realised. She needs to check something in a second. Sorry. My bad. Typing loads already. It's only 4:31. What is your plan for this game week? Probably roll. I'm not completely happy about it, but I kind of want to go into next week with 2 free transfers with lots of possibilities to take a -4, not take a hit, take a -8, leave everything open. Really, it's not ideal, but I could potentially just take a -4 and not get Trent and just get Robertson instead or something like that. So I think I've just got to take the price changes on the chin, just take into account that Fernandes might be a doubt and just kind of, roll and go into it. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name, but yes, there's a guy starting for Brighton tomorrow, Buonanotte. I don't know how you pronounce it, so I'm not going to keep saying it. But yes, he could be in for March. There's not a lot I can do about it. He could be in for several players, so I'm just going to hold on to him and play him. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting Botman and Odegaard off the bench this week. But it is what it is. There's no point worrying about it. If Solly March misses out, so be it. There's so many more fixtures to come. It's not worth using a transfer on. Yes, I think everyone's seen Bruno Fernandes' wife's post. Yes, talked about it earlier on Final Thoughts. Is Shaw available? Presumably, yeah. There was a training video released by Man United, but it's literally got no players in it that played in the FA Cup semi-final, so it's not really too helpful, to be honest. Doesn't really help us. I didn't spot anyone that started the game. What if Bruno Fernandes' wife is just playing mind games with Spurs? You know, Ryan Mason, he's in charge now. He's thinking, Bruno Fernandes isn't playing, so I'll do this. His wife posts to confirm that he's not playing, and then bam, he actually plays. That's why I'm slightly tempted just to play Fernandes, but I'm not too sure. Start any 2 of Tony, Martinelli, Kepa and Raya. I'd start Tony ahead of Martinelli and Kepa ahead of Raya. I'm going to put... lots of people are on Kepa and Raya. I'd play Kepa over Raya this week. I'm going to put it in the ticker, even though no one reads it. Because it's not at the bottom. I know. Got Tony as my first bench option. Roll this game. We can have 2 free transfers to 34. Or do Fernandes to Salah and Kane to Isak from -4. I feel like probably just roll. You got a pretty good bench. Not the end of the world. I think, I guess the long and the short of it is, if you're 100% sure that the move you make this week is going to allow you to do the moves you definitely want to make next week, then you could just bring the hit forward. Right? If I'm saying that there's a possibility I do a -8 this week, well, I could take a -4 this week and do Kane to Solanke, Odegaard to Salah, and just play Solanke and Salah ahead of Odegaard and Kane, which could be better. And then next week do a -4 of Fernandes to Grealish, Chilwell to Trent, etc. But things might have changed by the time we get to game week 34, and I'm not completely sure about exactly how I want to structure my transfers. So I think it really depends on how sure you are about those moves. Because obviously there's a big... Like, my original plan was to get Greenwood. There's a big difference between getting Greenwood or Solanke or Isak in terms of money. And that might affect me later on. So I'm not... I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. And I guess that's the same advice I would say to other people, really. If you're not sure, I would just roll. I think Game Week 31 is a real tricky one. Because it's a midweek, so there could be rotation. And obviously we're about to go into a double game week, which is much more important for points than this week. Obviously you want to get points every week. But next week is a bigger game week for sure. So you kind of want to get it right. Have Mac 10 and Matoma and Ciso for a third spot. He's just not nailed. I just don't see why anyone would go there, to be honest. Even if in the short term he plays, that's great. But what about in the next couple of weeks? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he started. To be fair, he played well in the FA Cup semi-final. I just think there's chances of him continuing to play every week is just very low, so I just wouldn't probably go there. Start Solanke or Saka. Probably Solanke, to be honest. No, yeah, probably Solanke. I'd find it really hard to bench Saka though, just because of the fixture. Really, start Mings or Castagna. Mings, I think. Risk starting Bruno over Martinelli or bench him. I think for most people, you're probably just better off benching Fernandes. I'm still in two minds though, because I keep thinking he's probably going to start or just not be in at all. But I guess he could be on the bench, right? That is a risk. So I suspect I might change before. I might end up like this. I'm not 100% sure. Odegaard dropping in price. Yeah, look, price changes are all over the place. Absolute nightmare. I'm not gonna make moves I'm not sure about, to be honest. So I'm just gonna eat the price drops. What will be, basically. It is annoying though. Odegaard's dropped so much since I bought him. Like, I bought Odegaard for 7 million, so he'll be down to 6.6 now. And the thing is, he's actually done really well for me. 7, 10, 2, 6 over the last 4 weeks. He's only blanked once. But just absolutely dropping money or dropping value all over the place. But I don't want to make a move for 0.1. Like, I've already missed most of the important price rises anyway. Like, even if I had got rid of Kane and Odegaard, I would have still lost money on Chilwell. Trent's still one up in price. So for my potential transfers for next week, I've lost 0.1 on Kane. I'm going to lose 0.1 on Odegaard, 0.1 on Chilwell, 0.1 on Trent. So it's at least 0.4 million I've lost over the last couple of days. And I suspect Fernandes might go down before I end up having to sell him as well. So we'll see. I don't know what Fernandes is on right now. Fernandes is due to drop in price as well. So it's going to hurt. But if Fernandes is out, then that frees up a lot of money anyway. And I think team value is important, right? That can be the difference between getting a really great player for a double or not. But also, there's 3 double game weeks coming up after this week. After this week, there's more doubles than not. And I just want to get it right. So I think I've just got to take the hits. The only annoying thing is the same thing could happen for game week 34. So if I don't make early transfers now, I've pretty much got to wait till Thursday to see what happens with Fernandes. Unless Ten Hag tomorrow says he's out for X amount of weeks. Why am I starting Chilwell ahead of Botman? It's just a little bit more exciting, really. I might have it wrong with Botman. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that would probably play Botman ahead of Odegaard this week. I just prefer playing the attacker, and I just prefer to think that Chilwell is a bit more attacking. You can check who's dropping and rising in price on FPL statistics. Darren, which one to bench out? Saka, Martinelli, Matoma, Rashford, or Mahrez? Probably Mahrez. I think he's the least likely to start out of those. Kane to Jota, Bruno to Salah in 34 and avoid a hit for Trent. Yeah, maybe. I guess we'll reassess in 34 because I suspect if Jota gets benched in 33, people will change their tune about him. Like in general, I think they will. So let's see what happens in 33. I don't know if I'm going to bench Rashford. The problem is if I put Rashford on the bench, I'll just get questions about why I'm benching him. And if I put him in the 11, the questions will be why you're starting him. So I can't really win. I don't want to keep talking about Fernandes and Odegaard. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do there. I think I'm probably more likely to start Fernandes, but I'm not sure. Saka to Rashford or Gabriel to Estupiñán. Saka to Rashford or Gabriel to Estupiñán. I can't roll. Oh, you can't roll as wildcard 34. Ooh. Well, I mean, are you having to play both of those? If you're having to play Saka and Gabriel, I'd probably do Gabriel to Estupiñán. But if you only have to play one of them, I'd probably do Saka to Rashford, if that makes sense. Why do we think March isn't starting? So, De Zerbi has basically confirmed that there's a player that most of us have never heard of before starting tomorrow. And his name, I don't think he's even in FPL. Yeah, he's not even in FPL, right? And I'm not quite sure what his name is. But from his transfer market page, he's played as a central attacking midfielder where they got Enciso and McAllister, and he's also played on the right at times. So people think there's a chance he could come in for Solly March, which is possible, but nobody has a clue which way. So I think if you've got March, you probably just still play him. Oh, you meant 3 hit 34. Okay, that does change things quite massively. Although I would still say Saka to Rashford probably. I think Rashford's more interesting to have than Estupiñán probably over the rest of the season. Oh, he is in FPL. Where is he? Oh, yes, he is. Sorry. Oh, he's actually had minutes already. Oh my god, I don't even want to embarrass myself by pronouncing this name. Fasundo. What? I don't want to embarrass myself. Yeah, but yeah, he's 4.5 million. He's the guy that begins with B that's got 7 points. You were starting double Chelsea defence over double Newcastle. I'm starting Kepa ahead of Edison. I'm starting Chilwell ahead of Botman, yes. Main Kane replacements, Javi, Isaac, Martial. You could risk Martial if you wanted to, but I don't think he'll be fit for the rest of the season. So Solanke, probably the other option. Torn between Bruno and Kane to Salah and Jota -4, which doesn't allow me to get Trent in 34, or Bruno and Kane -4 to Salah and Solanke, which allows Trent in 34, or hold. What do you reckon? I mean, again, it depends how sure you are about those moves. If you're absolutely sure, then just go with it. And I think Trent is probably better than Jota. But it might be that you get to play Jota more often. I don't know. I'm trying to be careful with how down I sound about Jota because I do generally think he's an okay punt if you've got the money. And there is a chance that maybe I'll get him next week. Who knows? Especially if Fernandes is out. But I think from those two moves, I prefer the one that allows you to get Trent, to be honest. You don't think Watkins' captain's better than Haaland? I don't think there's much in it, and I'm just not going to back against Haaland. Look, Arsenal have been shipping goals recently. Rob Holding's still playing in defence. And Man City are just in a really good place right now. It could be a tight game. I wouldn't be completely shocked if that happens, but I think Haaland's going to score at least one. And the way things are going recently, like the one thing I kind of fear for Arsenal is if they make a similar mistake to what Ramsdale did against Southampton, that is maybe a hedge dropping. Like it's much easier to come back against Southampton than it is against Man City. So I just think Haaland's a perfectly good captain this week. I have to pause to type something a second. Both Brighton strikers are injured. How do you pronounce this guy's name? Someone please tell me, right? Write it in... Is it phonetical? I'm bad with words. How you would... Write it how you would say it. But could he be false 9? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't got a clue where he's going to play, is the honest answer. And bearing in mind, they've just played 120 minutes in the Cup, and it's a midweek game, so there could be some rotation generally anyway. March or Odegaard to Rashford. Odegaard. Start Grealish, Mac, have March, or Botman, have Trippier. I mean, I would just start Grealish over Botman if that's the question. Oh my god. Even there's so many different ways people have just spelled that name. Hang on. Right, we need to get to the bottom of this. I need to pause Sigrid a sec. I need to pause Sigrid in my ears. And then I'm going to Google it. How to pronounce. Yeah, Reece James out for the season. Oh, it's just good night in Italian, is it? I'm listening to it now. Jeez, man, just tell me. Buonanotte, but with an Italian twang. Buonanotte. I'm never going to get that in this stream. I need to practice that a bit more. Yeah, but when you Google it, how to pronounce it, it says good night in Italian. I'm giving up. I'm putting Sigrid back on. I'll figure that out for another time. Anyway, I don't know where he's going to play anyway, so it doesn't matter. I don't know how to say his name. I don't know where he's going to play. Saka or Elise? Saka. I love it. Elise's dropping in price as well. The bandwagon is over. Botman, Shaw or Henry to start. Botman. What do you think? Who will start? Sanchez or Steele? I think Steele will start, but it's just not worth the headache. If you've got Steele, just start him. And if you're looking to buy a Brighton defender, just don't. I would say. Must have been, thank you, Ian, thank you. Grealish and Diaz or Saka and Estupinian or a mix? Grealish and Diaz going forwards, I would say. Arteta will bottle the league. I mean, I don't know if we can class it as... Like, bottling just feels like a very lazy way to talk about it. I mean, most of us have kind of thought that Man City will catch them at some point. So is that bottling the league? Someone just tweeted me and said, just call him good night. I've got Tony first sub. Should I do Tony to Greenwood and Bruno to Salah for a hit or roll? Probably roll. Probably just roll. All right, the pronunciation lesson is over now. Highest overall rank I've ever had, 31k. Is now the time to be aggressive with hits to close min-league gaps? I would say... no, not really. I think people assess hits wrong. Like, if you need hits, great. If you don't take them. There's no point in... Just because you take hits doesn't mean... Like, just being aggressive does not necessarily mean more points, I guess is the short answer. Would you play Trippier, Trent, Estupinian and Botman or bench Botman for an Arsenal midfielder with Salah and two? I think what I would say to some people, right, the questions, there's like that's a long-winded question to just say, would you play Botman or an Arsenal midfielder, which you haven't given the name of? So I would play the attacker, I think. People love Botman this week. I just can't do it. I can't play Botman ahead of an attacker, I don't think. Salah or Haaland captain? I'm going to say Salah. But if you want to go... sorry, I'm going to say Haaland. If you want to go Salah, go for it. Who will play striker for Brighton? Welbeck and Ferguson injured. No idea. No idea. And Ciso? Mac 10? Maybe it'll be false 9? Maybe Mr. Goodnight? I don't know. I genuinely got no idea. It could be Undav. He might play. He came on for Welbeck in the FA Cup semi-final. Lined up for a Botman header. I mean, I might get him off the bench anyway, to be honest. Who knows? Although I guess if March is bench or something like that, then he would come on anyway. Mac 09. Buena notte, or something like that. It's not bueno, is it? No, I'm not going to get it. Let's stop this. Stop. Bench March or Grealish? I'd probably bench Grealish. Just don't come at me if March gets benched. Isak or Wilson? I mean, it's got to be Isak. I do think there's a chance that Isak will get benched for one of the next 2 games, though. But long term, his minutes are better than Wilson by the looks of it. Am I mental for captaining Watkins over Haaland? Not if you want to. Buena notte. Is that close? Buena notte. Buena notte. I shouldn't put on those little accents at the end. Who to start? Maddison, Saka, Share, or Shaw? I mean, I would start one of the attackers. I'd be tempted to start Maddison against Leeds, honestly. Buena notte. Okay, we're leaving it at that. Have you on telly? Girlfriend says hi, but not impressed by Chilwell. What's she not impressed about? Is it his positioning in the back 4 versus the back 3? That sounds offensive. What? Why is it offensive? Buona notte. My God, we'll be here all day. We'll be here all day talking about this. What's my target for this season? To get off this stream and hope that Buena notte never plays for Brighton again, so that I don't have to talk about him. That's my dream for the rest of the season. Lewis, thank you very much. Hawksy, wildcard, and Isak and Martial or Watkins and Greenwood. I mean, if you're bench boosting, it's probably got to be Isak and Martial, I would say. Let's talk Buena notte. Oh my God. I'm done. Your pronunciation is possibly cultural appropriation. Is that serious? Are you being serious? Cultural appropriation. Oh my God. I don't want to get involved in this. This sounds like a downward slope that just gets worse. Who to start? Fernandez or Solanke? Solanke. I would say Solanke. The guy for Brighton. I'm just going to call him the Brighton guy. The Brighton guy pushes Mac 10 to DM. Maybe. Bench Mac 10 or Mahrez. I would play Mac 10. I think Mahrez is going to get benched this week, so I'll just play Mac 10 anyway. 1 week punt. The Brighton guy or Neymar. I would say Neymar. Who to bench? Saka, March, Grealish, Kane. I would bench Grealish, I think, just because Saka's penalty taker. So some people were looking for 1 week punts earlier on the members stream. So this Brighton guy could be an option. I mean, imagine how good you'd feel if that worked out. So you could go for him against Nottingham Forest away. That's the kind of punt of dreams. do 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 do. Who to bench? Solanke, Saka, or March? Maybe Saka out of those. Oh, Jim was not being serious. We're all good. I'm not getting cancelled just yet. At least I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying to get it right. I mean, I have called him Mr. Goodnight and Mr. Brighton, but I'm mostly trying to get it right. In Carhome, you reckon Steele starts? Here's what I'd say about Steele. Unless you're transferring him in, I don't really see an issue. Most people have not got a transfer for Steele out, so you just start him, right? How unlucky would it be for Sanchez to start but get injured or red carded? I think you just start Steele. You just start Steele if you got him. I think he's going to start anyway for what it's worth, but I don't know better than anyone else, I guess. Would I start Fernandes ahead of Martinelli? I'm really not sure about Fernandes, whether to start him or not. I feel like in the back of my mind I've got Martinelli ahead of Odegaard, so I'd probably just start Martinelli rather than risk a benching. But I feel like I should probably do that with Odegaard as well. I mean, here's me trying to say Buonanotte correctly. Some people still say Jesus for Gabriel Jesus. What am I worried about? He's been in the league for how many years now? If only we knew what a recovery boot. I mean, the thing is, like, everyone becomes a doctor when a player gets injured. So some people are like, he's got a boot. That means it must be quite bad. There's no way he's back for Spurs. And some people are saying, well, it's just a precaution. It might just be swelling. He could be absolutely fine for Spurs. No one really knows. It's not Jesus. Are you joking? That must be a wind up. I mean, it's Jesus Navas, but it's Gabriel Jesus. Oh, do you know what? Seamus, I was just about to pronounce it, but I've got to think about the correct way. It's Davies, isn't it? Davies. Whereas if I didn't think about that, I probably would have said Ben Davis. I think I've got it right. Maybe, yeah, why would you get a boot for swelling? That would make it worse, would it? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not a freaking doctor. I haven't got a clue. I was just about to say about Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. For all the FIFA players out there. Anyway, I'm on wildcard and planning to bench boost next week. Currently I have 3 players from Man City, 3 Man United, and 3 Brighton. Who else could I bring? Basically, honestly, wildcard, you're pretty much looking at 5 teams. Newcastle, Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Brighton. And then maybe if you've got 1 or 2 gaps spare, you fill them with whoever you want. That's it. Bench Eze or McAllister. Eze. Forgot to attach the message. Bench Saka or Mac or Tony. Saka. Starting Bruno and Share. Chilwell, Shaw, Ings on bench. Preferred order. I mean, Ings isn't really starting much at the moment, is he? The only thing is, it's quick turnaround. I mean, I guess they've just had Europe, though, and Tony's still been starting. I think I'm just checking out. I think Ings is fit. I don't think there's an issue there. I don't know. I guess you can't be sure about Ings starting. So I'll say Chilwell, Shaw, Ings. Yeah, that order. I think. Play 2 of Saka, Trent, Grealish, March. Benching Trent doesn't sound great, but I'd probably play March and Saka. Do 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 do. Yeah, Erling Haaland. Yeah, there's a different way to pronounce that as well. The thing is, I actually started this season trying to pronounce. Is it pronounce? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong as well. Erling Haaland's name the correct way, and people moaned about it. So I just went back to the way that everyone says it in England. Do 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 do. Oh yeah, Hackpo. Yeah. If you've ever like so many Dutch net. Like, I used to work in AA. There was people from everywhere, right, all different countries, and I remember asking a couple of Dutch guys like how you pronounce names properly. Never gonna happen. Never gonna get it the correct Dutch way. It's going to have to be Van Dijk and Gakpo. I mean, Hackpo I could just about get, but I guarantee you if a Dutch person said Hackpo, it would not sound Hackpo. It would be something completely different. This is an interesting stream. about names. Fernandes, Kane to Salah, Watkins for a -4 or roll. I mean, if you haven't got a good bench, I'd be tempted to do that. But if you've got an okay bench, just leave it for now. I don't have any sources for Man United. I wish I did, honestly. I wish I did. I wish my Arsenal guy had a contact at Man United. For this game week only, Jota or Isak. I think there's a chance that they both get benched. I'll say Isak. Shout out to the old school followers who remember when we used to talk about FPL in these streams. So true. Saka Kane for Salah Solanke this game week for -4. I think if you're sure about having Salah and Solanke, you could maybe just about justify it, but I'd possibly rather just choose to roll into next week. Bench Fernandes, Grealish, or Mac 10. In that case, I think it's pretty easy. You just bench Fernandes. I should probably be benching him as well, to be honest. Isak is not getting benched, but he did get benched in game week 29, and the only thing that's happened since then is they've not had any quick turnarounds in games, I don't think. So he could get benched. If not, 34 is a potential possibility. Went Kane to Jota early. Bench 1, Saka, Martinelli or March. Martinelli, I think. Still tends to go Saka to Salah early. No Trent later, if so. It doesn't sound like you need to do that second bit, but I would bench Martinelli out of those. Saka / Odegaard or Botman. Saka, for sure. No Maddison news, but he is available. So you presume he would start. It's not guaranteed, I guess, but presumably he will start. Bum, bum. I think I've got a bench Fernandes, haven't I? I think it makes the most sense, but I'm not happy about this at all. Kane and Odegaard could be Salah and Solanke. Like, how many goals are Arsenal going to score against City? Oh, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this game week at all. I'm just glad game week 34 is... I mean, it's Tuesday to Saturday, so it's still quite a while, but at least it's a quick enough turnaround. Bench Rashford for Tony. No, I wouldn't do that. The one thing to say is, okay, I agree. Bruno Fernandes being out is just not good for Man United players in general. But it would probably push Rashford onto penalties. Maybe Martial would take one. He took one when he won. I think he won the penalty against Man City when we got smashed like 6-3. But I think the main penalty taker with Fernandes out would be Rashford. So I agree that no Bruno makes Man United worse, but it also makes Rashford individually a better FPL option. Do I reckon Chilwell, Bruno to Trent Grealish is worth a -4 or roll and wait? The thing is, in that situation, it's not really Chilwell and Bruno. It's not really Chilwell, Bruno versus Trent Grealish -4. It's Chilwell plus whoever you're going to play instead of Bruno to Trent Grealish -4. So unless you're sure about getting Grealish, I probably just wouldn't do it and just play whoever's on your bench instead. Don't get Solanke, you won't use him again this season. Not technically true. I think I kind of get where people are coming from with that, but having a good bench is not always a bad thing, right? So for example, let's say I had Fernandes, Salah and Solanke instead of Kane. Like if I'd taken that -12 back in game week 29, well, I wouldn't really be fretting over Fernandes at all. I would just bench him and play Salah and Solanke ahead because I've got that good bench. So although in our plans, we're not planning to play Solanke again for most of the rest of the season, all it takes is an injury to crop up, and then having a good bench might not force you into transfer you don't want to make. So I do agree that for the most part, it's probably not worth... If you don't need him to play, then spending 5.6 instead of 4 million on Greenwood is probably not worth it. But I think we kind of underestimate that a bench can kind of help us a bit sometimes, outside of just being in our plans to play, if that makes sense. I think I just explained that really badly. Like, really badly. Hopefully it made sense to some people. Surprised you're not considering Mikel Antonio. Nah, I did. I think I mentioned him on the deadline stream, possibly on a free hit, like if I was going for an absolute punt. But I can't bring him into my team. The guy just won't stay fit, will he? Maybe he will. He's not played too many minutes this season. Do Kane and Bruno to Salah and Jota this week instead of next? You could do it this week. You could do it this week as long as... the one thing I would say is, if I said to you right now, so for everyone that's thinking about doing this transfer, that transfer, etc., if I said to you, that Bruno's not going to play against Spurs, but he'll definitely be back for the first game of 34. I don't know that, by the way. I'm just giving you a situation, right? Let's say I said that to you and that was a fact. Would that change the transfers you make this week? Because if it would, that kind of tells me that you're not 100% sure about the transfer that you're making. Does that make sense? And if I told you that he's going to miss Spurs and he's going to be back for 34, but you don't care, you don't want him, then maybe you should just make the transfer. Who's the best captain for the midweek? Probably Haaland. Boring Haaland. Tony and Bruno for Jota and Rashford. Again, yeah, maybe, based on what I've just said. Saka to Salah, Kane to Isak for -4. Again, oh no, sorry, that's different discussion. I wanted to sell Martinelli to Salah, but I don't have enough money. I think it's okay. I don't think you need to do it for -4. You're going to captain Watkins. Interesting. Good luck. Hopefully he smashes it again, because I've got him. Wildcard and bench boost 34. Ederson, Everson, Shaw, Trent. Yeah, Everson's actually someone I didn't put on the video earlier, but he makes a lot of sense. Shaw, Trent, Trippier, Shapiro. I'm not sure I would risk Lindelof personally, but you could risk him. March, Matoma, Salah, Rashford, Grealish, Haaland, Watkins, Isak. Any changes? Yeah, I would maybe think about reducing the money in the Watkins spot and maybe going for someone a bit more expensive than Lindelof. But ultimately, most of that's pretty good. Isak or Grealish? Isak, I would say, for this week. G Hotel's a good spot in Galway. Absolutely, yeah. Martinelli or Grealish to start? Grealish. I'm probably rolling. I'm not happy about it. Do you think your mitigation tactic is just to reduce the red arrow this game week before 34? I mean, it's not. My tactic is just. I think rollings might be the best way long term of getting the most points, I guess. But ultimately, it's because I'm not too sure about my moves next week. I'm not putting Shaw in, as we discussed the other day. Not ahead of Chilwell. I do think about whether I've got single or double defence, but ultimately I'm playing Kepa because I think he's better than Ederson. So it's just Chilwell versus Shaw for me, or Chilwell versus Botman. And I prefer Chilwell to all of them. Second best captain. I mean, I would probably put it as Salah, but I guess because of the fixture, Watkins isn't too far behind that. Maybe Haaland then Salah then Watkins, I guess. Although I wouldn't be completely surprised if Harry Kane does all right. You know, now they've got Mason in charge. How important is Matoma March over McAllister? It's not really. They're all good. And if you've already got 2 or 3 of them, I would just stick with the ones you got. Play Ederson or Everson? Probably Ederson. What teams had the best remaining fixtures? I mean, it's all the ones with the double game weeks, really. As boring as it sounds, it does sound pretty boring. On a wildcard, Steele, Shaw, Stones, or David De Gea, Estupinian, and Akanji. I would say the one without Steele. It's less of a headache, to be honest. Father, Putra, Johnston, Trippier, Trent. What do you think? Johnston, Trippier, Trent. I mean, looks fine for this week. Don't really see any issues there, to be honest. Johnston, more heroics this week, maybe. With Mr. Brighton coming in, would you have McAllister instead of March on a wild card? I think, personally, I would stick with the 2 I've got and just go for March and Matoma. I don't like this headache, or even if it never happens, it feels like people are always discussing, especially recently, whether McAllister is definitely going to play as a 10. Will he drop deeper? Will he drop deeper in game? So I think I would just probably save the headache and go for March and Matoma. But if McAllister does keep playing as a 10 while he's on penalties, obviously he's on penalties either way, but if he keeps playing as a 10, then he probably is better than arguably both of the other 2, if not better than March. So I think it's quite close between them all. I would probably just stick with what I've got if I was wildcarding again. I don't think I'd see enough to change that. But everyone's got different preference over the Brighton midfielders. I don't think much has changed since we originally discussed them, to be honest. All those weeks ago. Bench one of McAllister, March, Rashford, Grealish, or Isak. I mean, probably Grealish out of those. No more transfers left. What to do with Saka and Martinelli this week? Play them or transfer them out for a hit, and if so, for who? March versus Rashford. I'd have Rashford ahead, but if you're talking about March versus Rashford for the bench, you could play both of them ahead of one of your Arsenal midfielders. So I'd play Saka ahead of Martinelli and probably just roll. Did Mac not play deep versus Chelsea and put up 0.5 XG anyway? Possibly, yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with the penalty take. I would probably just stick with what I've got, but if he's going to keep putting up decent numbers, then it's probably McAllister and Matoma, I would say. March won't be rested tomorrow after the penalty miss. They want to give him confidence. True, but another way to kind of frame it might be a lot of that team's just played 120 minutes. March did have an ankle issue similar to, well, not necessarily the same because I don't know what Fernandes is like, but he did have an ankle issue, and so they might want to give him a game's rest, right? So I think you can frame it either way. Hopefully he'll start, but I don't think it's a guarantee. Kane against Maguire or Tony against whatever the hell that's supposed to be. I would play Kane ahead of Tony. I have the exact money to do Kane to Jota and then Botman to Trent. I already used my free transfer. Should I do Jota to Kane for -4 this week and then make the Trent transfer early? I wouldn't be doing stuff like that. You can always just get Robertson instead if you wanted to, or just not get Jota and get someone cheaper. I don't think I would bring forward a hit for a move that then relies on going early next week as well. Hope I'm okay. Yes, I'm good. Bench 2 of Mings, Maddison, Elise. I would play Maddison. Stuart, Odegaard to Rashford and Kane to Isak for -4. I probably wouldn't do it, to be honest. If you really want Isak, then sure, but I'm not sure I would do that. You got some balls to go with Chelsea bottlers. I mean, it's my team, right? I don't have unlimited transfers. So it's Kepa versus Edison, Chilwell versus Botman and Shaw. That's all there is to it. From next week, Edison will probably get played most weeks and Chilwell will probably become a different defender. So it's just one week. I'm not really that bothered about it, to be honest. Or I'm not as concerned about my team with double Chelsea as everyone else seems to be. Like, if you haven't got double Chelsea, happy days, right? So another person that's not going to climb the ranks this week, right? Odegaard to... Oh, yeah, did that one. Bench 1, Saka, Isak, March or Matoma. Probably Saka. I don't know, though. I feel like if I was in that situation, I'd probably talk myself into the fact that Isak could get benched. But I guess if they're all going to start, I'll say Saka. Well, I do think there's a risk that Isak doesn't start. We'll see. Am I going to do Bruno to Salah and Kane to someone else to fund Salah? I don't know. I'll decide next week. I don't think I can sell Fernandes this week either way now. I'm going to wait and see what the diagnosis is ahead of Villa at home. You know Edison Halls this week if you bench him. There is part of me that's tempted to play Edison, but I think Arsenal will score. I mean, Brentford will probably score as well, but if both of them concede, I would expect Kepa to make more saves because that's usually what happens. By Linky. You reckon? Thank you. You reckon Chelsea keeps a clean sheet? Not really, to be honest. I'm not massively confident. Who is a priority striker this week? Have Haaland. I mean, the next best striker this week is probably Watkins, maybe Kane. Probably one of those two. What am I listening to? Do I like Blackpink? I've never heard of them, to be honest. Right now I'm listening to George Ezra and Sigrid on a playlist that I put together on Spotify. But I might change it in a minute. Have a nice Raya thinking Erling and Rashford for Kane and Madison -4. Oh, you don't have Edison. I mean, that sounds... I mean, if you're going to captain Haaland, I would do that -4. Like, Madison against Leeds, that is the kind of move you could get punished for, taking him out, but Haaland and Rashford going forward is definitely better. Definitely better. Mahrez instead of Marseille. I'm not convinced Mahrez is going to start this week, to be honest. So, probably not. 45 minutes to the deadline, by the way. Don't forget to lock your teams in. Would you start Ray or Kappa? Kappa. Just got home from work. Soreth has already asked. Would you consider captain Salah, and is Salah at risk of rotation? I think Salah being a risk of rotation is definitely overthinking it. That guy very, very, very rarely gets benched. You could captain him if you want to do something a bit different, for sure. Ian Atcher for a 1 week punt. I mean, yes, if he starts. And I don't know if we're going to find that out. I mean, the obvious response is, why wouldn't he start? Absolutely. Great question. I don't know. Apart from the fact Leicester always seem to find a way to bench him. Big thanks for your help on Jota last week. Came in big for me. I'm not sure how I could have helped with Jota, because I felt like I wasn't really that... I mean, I did think he would start at least. But I did also say I thought his minutes were worse than Gakpo, so... You can't win them all. You cannot win them all. Do 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 do. Start Grealish or Rashford. Rashford. Also bench one of Mings, Chilwell, or Burn. Bench one of them. Burn. It'd be interesting to see what Lampard does with the formation, because he can talk all he wants about the fact that the season is not over, like he's a Chelsea man. The season is over for Chelsea, so he's got to try and motivate a bunch of players that are out of the Champions League and nothing to play for in the league apart from maybe getting top half. Be a good start. I'm hoping he plays a back three and Chilwell plays wing back. That's what I'm hoping. I don't think it's quite the same as Spurs. And I guess with James out, it's not quite the same. But I feel like with the amount of centre-backs Chelsea have got and how good like Chilwell is as a wing back, I don't see the point in trying to change the team to a back four. I guess they've had a weekend off. So maybe Lampard will have had a bit more time to train them. But just play a back five and put Chilwell as a wing back. Seriously, he's one of your best attackers. A bit like Reece James when he's fit, even though he's out for the season. I only have one Brighton mid and two Arsenal mid. Should I get another Brighton mid or roll with it? I mean, you could roll, but ultimately that Arsenal mid to a Brighton mid is going to happen at some point, I would say. Change your bench order just in case. No, I think this bench order is okay. I'm not even sure about benching Fernandes, to be honest with you. So I think I'm okay putting him first. Do 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 do. How do I become a YouTube member? There's a join button on the main page, I believe. Mings or Estepinian? Ooh, that's tough because Villa are at home. They've been keeping a lot of clean sheets at home, but I think I would go Estepinian. I think. Am I happy with my goalkeepers? I will be from next week. I'm not so happy about them this week. Play Chilwell or Botman? I'm playing Chilwell. Play Ray or Kappa? I would play Kappa. And should I do Kane and Saka to Salah and Isak from -4 away? I'd probably just wait, to be honest. Join Andy, even an old fart like me can do it. Mark, I haven't even checked how well that video's been doing on Instagram. 7k viewers, mental. That's actually quite low, I think, for a deadline stream. Maybe it's the Tuesday effect. Let's see how many views your video has had on Instagram. 14.7k. Decent. Castagna is rubbish. I also put it on TikTok. I'm too old to use TikTok, I think. TikTok's a weird place. Is Mendy still out? Good question. I actually don't know. I don't think so. How do you feel about working as a full-time content creator? Are there days where you don't feel like working? Do you feel pressured to keep producing content on certain days? Not pressured. I mean, I guess there are some days you just can't bother, but they're few and far between. Like, I just remind myself that I'm very lucky, I guess. Just get on with it. You need to dance if you're going on TikTok. Yeah, it's not happening. Not happening. Bench Matoma or McAllister? I'll say McAllister, even though I don't like benching penalty takers. De Gea or Raya? To play this week, I would play De Gea, I think. I actually don't really know about that because I feel like the Man United defence is going to be weakened again, but the Chelsea defence is just quite weak. The Chelsea attack is quite weak. And who's likely to make more saves, Raya or De Gea? I think it's close. I'd probably play De Gea, I think. I feel like Man United are more likely to get a clean sheet against Spurs than Brentford against Chelsea. But, I mean, the Chelsea attack is so bad. I'll say De Gea. It's pretty close, though. If you want to go the other way, go for it. Mac to Matoma, priced out tonight, if not. No, I'd probably just hold on. Start Grealish or Maddison? I'd start Maddison, I think, because of the fixture. Why not Botman? You think Odegaard can score? Lots of people saying Botman. I just don't. I just don't like benching attackers for defenders. But look, Botman might be better, but I'm going to play the attacker. But for what it's worth, I don't really want to play Odegaard. I really want to play Fernandes. That's why I'm still a little bit tempted just to do this and hope for the best, just in case he does play. But it's hard to know. I would play Botman ahead of Shaw. Solanke or Odegaard? I'd definitely start Solanke over Odegaard if I had him. For sure. Oh my god. Excuse me. Am I happy with my captain? I mean, it's Haaland, so I'm not really too happy about it because it's boring, but I'm also happy because I think it's perfectly good. Tato, Walkers or Pringles, start 2, bench 1. I mean, I'm benching Tato all day long. People in Ireland hate it when you say that. All I'll say is some Tato are good, some are not. Like the classic cheese and onion, yeah, I think I'd rather have Walkers, lads. What's your prediction for Arsenal versus City? City win 3-1. Is it worth using a transfer to Tony Watkins or Roll? Probably Roll. Start 2 of Tony Madison and Fernandes. Tony and Madison. Why don't you go for Stones instead of the DS plan? Yeah, Stones could possibly come in. Talk about a little bit about your climbing rank. A few weeks ago, you were outside 200k. It's looking like a pretty good season. It will be a pretty good season if this obviously carries on. I'm not really sure what there is to talk about. I don't feel like I've really changed my... I don't think I've really changed my strategy or way of playing. I've just got a bit luckier than I did before. Like I've been saying this for most of the season. I know people don't like hearing about it, but I feel like some of those calls to captain Salah over Haaland, I can agree with people that they were obviously the wrong call, and Haaland was playing so well, it was maybe a bit silly, but the way they were punished, I thought was a little bit unlucky, stuff like that. So I think ultimately, the main things I've changed are I've started captaining Haaland more than Salah. Otherwise, I've still played the same way, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would say that going for Shaw, Rashford and Fernandes in Game Week 29 was a good move that got a bit unlucky. But on the flip side, I sold Saka and he kept blanking. Gabriel kept blanking as well. So I got a bit lucky in that regard. That is just FPL, really. Like, I think if I come out of a green arrow this week, I could probably consider it. I don't think my team is awful, to be honest. I don't think there's loads of people out there with much better teams. But a lot of people will have like a striker like Isak or Solanke plus Salah, and that is definitely better than my team. And maybe they got a different defender instead of Chilwell. But I don't think there's really too much wrong with this team this week. I feel like I'm going off on a tangent now, though. My son's not playing FPL this year. Kane, Bruno, Ake to Jota, Salah, Estepinian -4. -8. I think if you've got no bench, that could be okay. Again, as long as you're sure about not having Bruno. Looking for a good defender for the rest of the season, so I don't have to risk 2 Newcastle this week. I would. You've got Henry, Trippier, White, Botman, SPN. I would probably just play double Newcastle defence and reassess next week, to be honest. Yeah. Who do I bench from Grealish, Martinelli, or March? Martinelli, probably. I would say. I'm top 10k now. Didn't own Haaland for his 2 back-to-back hat-tricks. Wow, very nice. Yeah, I think people really overestimate. Like, I mean, I don't always react well to it, but I think people overestimate just how bad a bad week. Like, yeah, I think they overestimate how bad a bad week is sometimes. Like, act like the world's end. That's why I kept saying that my season was over, because that's what people were saying to me. So I was just messing with it. Like, I didn't really think that. I mean, I got to be honest, I wasn't sure I was going to get back into the top 100k this quick, but I thought it would always happen eventually. So I think people panic and they just start playing differently, instead of just accepting that sometimes there is a bit of luck involved and, you know, just roll with it. Oh no, I've not said Mr. Brighton's name for so long, I'm probably going to get it wrong now. Who do I bench from Grealish, Martinelli, or March? I think I did that one, didn't I? Deserby said, Buonanotte starts. Does this mean that Mac 10 plays deep? I don't know. I honestly don't know, right? We've not seen him start, I don't think. At least we haven't done for a long time, so it's hard to know. Really hard to know. I would just treat Mac 10, McAllister, as you would have done without this news, to be honest. Captain Salah or Haaland? I'm going to say Haaland, but it's close enough. If you want to go for Salah, go for it. Cher or Estepinian? I would just play Estepinian. There is a chance that Cher misses out, and Estepinian's got a good fixture anyway. Is Sterling madness for a punt? I mean, I think, I was looking earlier, I think, yeah, Fantasy Football Scout have got Sterling to start, but they got so many attackers, it's impossible to know for sure. So I'm not, he's a punt. Madness? Maybe not madness. Alternative is Maddison. I think I'd rather go for Maddison. I don't think Sterling's totally senseless, so you've got to be pretty confident he's going to start. And it's, I don't know, is the honest answer. Yeah, Havertz is out. I mean, Havertz. Mount is probably out for the season. I think Lampard said he might get back for the final game. Havertz is probably out this week as well. So João Felix is going to start. Yeah, Sterling's got a pretty good chance of starting. I guess Mudryk could start as well, or instead of. I don't mind it as a punt, especially if you've got a bench that could come on if it goes wrong. Which 3 would you pick in defence from Chilwell, Trippier, Shaw, Botman and Estepinian? I would play Trippier, Estepinian. Well, it's exactly the same defence as I've got, so it's literally on screen which 3 I would play. Job done. Would you consider Captain Watkins if you have points to catch in your mini league? Maybe. It depends what the gap is, though. If it's not that big, I would just go for normal. Play Estepinian and bench Saka, Elise. I don't think I would play Estepinian ahead of Saka, to be honest. Why don't you just play Bruno? If his injury is severe, he won't play at all anyway, and if he's fit, he will start most likely. I mean, I agree, but like there is a third scenario where he's benched and he comes on. And I know everyone's going to say, no, that won't happen. I agree, it probably won't, but it's not a definite. So that's why I'm unsure about it. You didn't put the black sticker over the microphone. It's annoying me. I don't have a black sticker. Is it this bit here? I would be. Yeah, that's a good point about Sterling. Chelsea just don't score. But honestly, if Sterling starts, there are definitely worse punts than that. Why is everyone hating on Arsenal this week? They're not hating on Arsenal. We're trying to make an FPL decision based on their fixture that they've got Man City away, the hardest fixture all season. Instead of members' names, you could rank the fixtures of the game week. Yeah, I could, but there's lots of people sign up to support the channel. That's part of the deal. The name's there. Best time to play wildcard and triple captain. I mean, I cannot see why you would save wildcard past game week 34. So unless you're really well set up for 34, I would just wildcard then and triple captain in 36 or 37. Like, if you've only got 5 double game week players next week, that's wildcard territory for me. How much did I get paid this year? I think it's about 7 million. It's about 7 million. Give or take the odd million. Odegaard or Fernandes out for Rashford. I mean, given the doubt, it's probably got to be Fernandes, but I mean, I would probably take Odegaard out first, to be honest, and then if Fernandes is out next week, you can just get someone else. Panos, thank you very much. FMJP4, thank you very much. Cosmic, nice stream, thank you very much. Which option? A, Fernandes to Grealish. B, Bruno and Tony to Salah Greenwood. Not sure about that. C, Saka and Tony to Jota and Grealish, and keep Bruno. I mean, if you have to do one, I'd probably do Fernandes to Grealish, I think. Than kind of doing 2 moves to the other ones. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Those questions are always difficult because obviously I don't know all the future plans, which obviously you can't put in the question. But I don't know about like Bruno and Tony to Salah and Greenwood is. I quite like that if you've got someone that can play instead of Greenwood, obviously. But if you want Grealish for next week anyway, Fernandes to Grealish is probably okay. If you are keeping Bruno, who are you sacrificing, Salah or Grealish? IWTBF, I know you've watched my videos for a while. Come on, who am I sacrificing, Salah or Grealish? You know the answer to that. I don't even need to answer that. Anthony's a punt for the double in 34. He's okay. I think I'd prefer Grealish, someone like that. Sivert FPL banger. Sure, increased assist potential with Bruno out, set pieces, etc. Maybe a little bit. I don't know if it's enough that I would put him up the bench or anything like that, because I do think Spurs will probably score. But yeah, interesting thoughts. Obviously, Fernandes could still start. Outside chance, maybe. Would I play March or Isak? I don't know. I guess Isak. Why so little discussion on De Bruyne? I just don't think people have the money for him. And I think if the choice is between De Bruyne and Salah, for me there's only one winner. To be honest. Bench Saka, Matoma, March or Bruno? Bruno. Start Fernandes or Saka? Saka, because Bruno's a doubt. What do you think of Sabitzer and Martial on my wildcard team this week? I think that once Fernandes is back, Sabitzer won't play that much, and Martial could be injured any minute. So I mean, that means I would rather have Shaw and Rashford plus one other one. I mean, I do think there's a great chance that Sabitzer plays this week if Fernandes is out, but beyond that, you just can't guarantee starts. Oh. I guess the other thing to think about with Fernandes is if he's fit, he will always play, right? I think we all know that. But if he is a slight doubt, they don't have to risk him because they could just play Casemiro, Eriksen, and then just play Sabitzer instead of Bruno. It's not ideal, but it could happen. In which case, Bruno could be on the bench. So I probably shouldn't start him. The only reason I'm doubtful about that is just because he's never missed a game for Man United for injury. Never happened, which is absolute madness. Like, his injury record is crazy good. As someone said to me earlier, though, it doesn't mean that he'll recover quicker, which maybe is true. Why play Chilwell over Botman? Botman's got a better fixture. I know, but I just can't help but hope that Chilwell will play as a wing-back, basically. And that's all there is to it. Kevin, you did it. Bruno and Kane -4 to Salah and Solanke. Do it as well. You're a maverick, not a dullard. Probably not going to do it. Thing is, if Bruno's fit next week, I'm going to hold him to the rest of the season. So I don't think I should rush to get rid of him. I'm not as happy about selling Fernandes as everyone else is, to be honest. I think Grealish is good, but he's not my top 5 choice for midfielders, 34 onwards. Bench one of Saka, Grealish, March, or Solanke. You just brought Solanke in. I would probably bench Grealish. Play 2 of Darwin, Botman, and Saka. I mean, I would say they're both the attackers, but I don't know if Darwin's going to start. I think he'll start one of the next 2, but I don't think it's necessary this one. So I'd probably say bench Darwin because of that. You're on a career high rank of 936 in the world. Very nice. You suggest avoiding hits as much as possible until the end of the season. I would say keep playing as you've been doing. Take the hits when you need them. I always say this every year. Like, people have this thing where if things go well with hits, or if things aren't going well and they haven't taken many hits, then the initial thing is to say, got to take more hits next year. And I think it's a similar situation. Just because you're at a certain rank doesn't mean hits suddenly become good or bad. No Ake news. No. Should I wildcard this week and triple captain next week? If your team's not great, you could do that, yeah. Like, basically, you shouldn't, in my opinion, you should not be saving the wildcard past game week 34. So if your team's not great for this week, you could wildcard this week and then, triple forgetting about the wildcard for a second. If I'm using my triple captainship in 34, 36, or 37, 34 is probably the best time to do it. But if you're not sure about a wildcard team this week, i.e. you haven't really thought about it and there's 24 minutes till the deadline, I would just save it till next week, because the wild card for the remaining game weeks is much more valuable than the triple captain is. Bruno to Rashford this week or roll. Botman first bench. If Bruno's back for 34 and you're going to get Rashford in another way, I would just roll. If you're going to sell Fernandes anyway, just do it. Start Shaw, Pinnock, or Henry. Maybe Luke Shaw in that scenario. Kane to Haaland and Saka to Grealish for a -4. I don't hate it, especially if you're going to captain Haaland. I just wanted to remind you that you looked at my squad in game week 29 and was shocked at Castagna. I mean, I still would be shocked at Castagna if I saw him in someone's squad right now. Still at overall rank 5 and hoping for big gains on free hit. Oh, so you would like top 5 and you had Castagna. Look at that. Just showing off now. Wait, hang on. Oh, yeah. Cookie Monster, right? Nikhil? Yeah. Oh, they had Castagna without free hit. Castagna without having a free hit. And they're top 5 in the world. Putting me to shame. Martinelli, Saka, Isak. Oof. And you've still got free hit left. Very nice. When are you free hitting, by the way? Maybe you don't tell us that if you're top 5 in the world. Or you're 6th. Top 5. Sorry, top 5, yeah. You're probably going to have to use it in 34, aren't you? I think free hit 34 is good, but you're also going to want a very similar team for 37. That's the sort of jam that gets you top 5. Yeah, love Castagna. Big fan. John, thank you very much for becoming a member. Tom, Mahrez in, bench Share, or Diaz in, bench Mahrez? Diaz. Who's Diaz? Like Diaz for City? Or are you talking Diaz for Liverpool? I'd probably play Mahrez ahead of Share. There is a chance that neither of them start this week, though. Do I think Dalot will start? I mean, I think it's pretty good for him that he started left back against Brighton. So I think there is a good chance he starts again. But I just think, I don't know if that's going to keep happening. Has Malacia fallen so far down that he's now not going to play in his favoured position while a right back plays there? Possibly. I mean, Dalot's done all right. I just don't think I would risk it. If you're buying a Man United defender, you preferably just want to get Luke Shaw, I think. Yeah, Luke Shaw being injured for 3 clean sheets was bad luck. Yeah, agreed. Is Steele starting? Presumably, but no one's going to be able to tell you for sure. Bench one of Saka, Solanke, or March? Probably Saka. So only the one City attacker for game week 34. If Fernandes is fit, yeah. If Fernandes is not fit, then I'll get Grealish. Oh, Sam Martin has just confirmed that Maddison starts for Leicester. The actual Sam Martin? Let me see. Believe Maddison has travelled with the squad and lined up to start tonight. Happy days. Happy days. Pretty good punt that for this week. Or pretty good hold if you got him. Saka to Rashford for a hit? Probably not. Probably not. Do. Doodaloo. Doodaloo. Do. Someone just sent me a tweet. Someone just sent me a tweet about Odegaard. Surely not. I'm trying to find out about him now. Don't think we're going to find out before the deadline. It's too early, really. Do. On wildcard, buy Isak this week and swap to Jota next week, or just go straight to Jota. I would probably just get Isak and keep Isak. But if you're gonna swap to Jota next week anyway, I would just get Jota, to be honest. Do. Sell Martinelli to Rashford or roll the transfer for 34. I think if you're going to do that move anyway, I would do it this week. Team news on Villa. I've not seen anything. What's the first game? The first game is Lee. Oh yeah, so the 7:30 game is Wolves Palace. Then it's 7:45 for Villa. I don't think we'll get anything, but I mean, most of the players you're going to be looking at should start, right? You'd imagine. Start Bruno or Kanji? I'd probably start Bruno and just put Kanji on the bench, waiting for him to come in. Bench one of Matoma, Rashford, Isak, Watkins, Grealish. Probably Grealish. Grealish is going to smash it. I've told so many people to bench him. Do. Donat, thank you very much for 2 months. Which two to start? Mings, Dunk, Jesus, or Martinelli? Probably the two. I don't know. Dunk's got a good fixture. So's Mings, but I'd probably start the two attackers. Who's penalties without Bruno? Probably Rashford. Probably. John, thank you very much. What about Iheanacho? If he starts, great, but we haven't got any information about that, unfortunately. Bench 2, Saka, Tony, March, Matoma, Grealish. Probably Saka and Grealish, I think. Sell Bruno for Grealish -4. Sell Bruno for Grealish -4. Bruno Kane for Salah, Isak -8, or just play Botman. I'd probably just play Botman. I don't think you need -4s and -8s for those moves necessarily. Eze to Grealish. I'd probably just play Eze if I had him, I think. Any news you need to know about? Not really. Fernandez's wife posted a picture of him with a boot around his ankle, crutches and stuff. You've probably seen that. I don't know how anyone hasn't seen that at this point. Maddison's probably going to start by the sounds of it. Buonanotte is going to start for Brighton. No, I got no idea who he is either, but he's starting, apparently. Shaw, Pinnock start one. Shaw, I think. Saka, McAllister start one. McAllister. Leicester's defender who didn't get a clean sheet since the World Cup, or terrible leads attacking forward. Probably terrible leads attacking forward. Surely holding Bruno and not getting Salah is going to book a place behind the sofa. I couldn't do it. I'm too weak. Yeah, potentially. It won't be nice watching that Liverpool game without any of their players, but I think I've got to do it. I think if we knew one way or another Fernandes was fit, it'd be a little bit different. I think that's actually the main thing for me. It's not that I'm worried about taking a hit for Salah necessarily. It's that I'm worried about doing the transfers wrong. Because like if Fernandes is fine, then I would do Odegaard to Salah. Maybe for a hit. Maybe. Not necessarily. If you're going to use the wildcard, then I would do Eze to Rashford if it's for free, yeah. I think Rashford's better. Do I start Fernandes or Odegaard? I don't know. Real. Should I start Andreas or Odegaard? I'd be tempted to start Andreas while he's on penalties, to be honest, in an easier fixture. Start Fernandes, Edouard or Botman? Probably Edouard. Would you have Fernandes in your wildcard team? Probably not, especially not if I'm bench boosting, because I think it's just too much money and too much of an unknown. I think you've probably got to go without him. Do-do-do-do-do. Thoughts on Kevin De Bruyne? I think he's fine, but I wouldn't be looking to bring him in, I don't think. I think there's better options in midfield for the money. We've only got 14 minutes to the deadline. I feel like this has kind of flown by and I've not really thought about my own team. But I think I'm okay. Yeah, that's the thing. Fernandes could come on for a cameo. There is a risk of that. With Kepa and Ray, I've just gone for the guy at home. That's really it, to be honest. Start Pedro Porro or Botman. I mean, the thing is, surely Spurs are going to revert to a back five. In which case, Pedro Porro will be a wing back. But I still think I'd start Botman with the fixture. I don't know. Then again, I guess it's a similar situation to Chelsea and Chilwell. I think Man United definitely scoring. I feel like captaining Watkins because it's tonight, but then if he doesn't do well, it's worse. I do get the thinking, but just try and make your decisions without looking at when they're playing. It's the best way. Although now I'm thinking I haven't got many players to play on Thursday. Maybe I need to change that. Maddison should be starting apparently. Start Kane or Rashford? Probably Kane, I think. I don't know though. That's quite close. I'd want to start both of them. What kind of team have you got where you're thinking about benching one of Kane or Rashford? Start Jota or March? I say March. I'm not quite sure about that one though, if I'm honest. Probably March for the fixture. Is West Ham away a little bit harder? Maybe. I feel like March has got more chance of starting, but what if this Buonanotte guy starts instead? That'd be a nightmare. That would be a nightmare. Will Green? No, I think I answered that about Shaw, Pinnock and Henry with Shaw. There was just a tweet that I just saw that said that Odegaard is a doubt for tomorrow, but the tweet has since been deleted. And honestly, like that news might be true, but it doesn't mean he's out and he'll probably play. So I think Arteta will do everything to have his first 11 for tomorrow. It's probably a bit. I don't know. It's not completely out of the question to already have team news, I guess. Because obviously they would have trained today, but I don't know. 10 points behind in mini league. March, Mitoma, Rashford, Maddison, Saka, Haaland, and Watkins came first sub. Oof. Or 4-point hit. What are even the differences? Isaac. That team does not need a 4-point hit. That attack. You're benching Kane for Christ's sake. I would just leave it, I think. What's doing Rashford? Oh, to get Salah. I'd be tempted just to leave it, honestly. Any last minute news like Saka bench? No. Imagine that though. When he sent me that, I was like, there's no way. Start White, Shaw, Steele, or Pope, Trippier, Botman. Pope, Trippier, Botman, probably. But have you got all 6 of those players? Because I would probably start Steele, Trippier, Botman if you got all 6. The biggest Salah advocate not going for him and keeping an injured Bruno. Shame, shame, shame. I mean, I'm getting Salah next week. That was always the plan. Would I captain Salah if I had him? No, probably not. Sell Martinelli Kane for Salah Greenwood, setting me up for Trent next week, or roll. Probably roll, to be honest, unless you got a good bench option that you can play instead of Greenwood. I'll probably just reassess next week. I don't know. Salah for a hit could really work out. It could really work out. I think it's a close one. Like, it's close enough that I'm just not really sure. Like, I could do Kane and Odegaard to Solanke and Salah and just bench Fernandes. But I don't know if I definitely want to be lumbered with Solanke. That's the problem. Yeah, we've seen the Maddison stuff. Already got Salah for a minus. Already got Salah for -4. Got Bruno, Ake, Rico, Henry, and Greenwood. Do I get Trent now for -8 or wait until the weekend? So you got no bench apart from Henry. I'd probably just wait. Worst thing is that Henry comes on. Under 10 minutes to go. Yeah, start Fernandes or Eze. Probably just start Eze. I think I'm gonna start Fernandes. I think the thing is, I've told so many people to play Arsenal midfielders ahead of him. I think that is the correct, safest choice, but I'm gonna probably risk it. I could go Greenwood, but if I do Kane to Greenwood and Odegaard to Salah, then I'm essentially saying that Salah is better than Kane by 4 points for sure this week. And then if Fernandes doesn't play, it's Botman coming on. So that's why I'm just not sure about doing it this week. I think it's close. I think it's one of those that I could absolutely regret. Question is, do we think Spurs will continue to fold or bounce back? If fold, then get Rashford in ASAP. I don't think Spurs are going to start getting smashed by 5-6 goals every single week. That's for sure. Like, it was just one of those where everything went right for you. Like, they obviously played really well. I'm not taking anything away from Newcastle, but also everything they shot in the first 20 minutes kind of went in. Well, that's not strictly true, because I think like Murphy and Joe Linton had loads of shots. I think they had like 4 each or something like that in the first 20 minutes. But still, everything kind of went really nicely. On another day, they probably just win by 3. So, like, it's still not good. But I don't think Spurs are going to start collapsing every game. And they're definitely not going to do a back 4 anytime soon, I don't think. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll go for a back 4 again and just hope for the best. Start Kepa or Steele. Long time hope, all good. Yes, but all good. Start Martial or Grealish. I'm gonna say Martial. I feel like I'm way too down on Grealish this week. Start Solanke or Tony. Solanke, me or Tarkowski. I'll say Ben Mee. Start Martinelli or McAllister. Dallo, Jota or Robertson, Martial, wildcard. I don't really like either. I'll say Robertson, Martial. You start Grealish out of Martial. Wait, was that the question? Yeah. I mean, I guess Grealish's minutes are probably higher. Yeah, it probably should be Grealish. I'm so used to saying bench Grealish this week that maybe I've got that on my mind. Better for Game Week 34, Trippier and Salah or Trent and Morris. Trippier and Salah by quite a way, I would say. For starting 11, Shaw, Eshapinian. Yeah, to be fair, I probably would start Grealish ahead of Martial. Martial could be on penalties. He could be. I think Rashford would take him ahead of him, but I said that earlier that Martial might get him. Play João Felix over Bruno or the Brighton mids. I'd play João. If you got João Felix, you could play him over Bruno. Probably start this week. I don't hate Grealish. I think he's probably the 6th best midfielder I could hope for in Game Week 34. I'm probably going to bring Grealish in next week. Thoughts on Isak captain? I know you wish you had him. I'm not really that worried about him, to be honest. I think captain's fine if he's going to start, yeah. Don't think he's the best captain, though. Tempted to start Castagna over Chilwell. Not sure about that. Away to Leeds. I think Leeds score. Start one, Saka or Gakpo. Oh, I'm going to say Saka, I think. I don't know. I think Gakpo will start, and he has got the easier fixture, I guess. But Saka will definitely start, and he's on penalties. I think I'd say Saka, but it's quite close. Am I taking Kane out? Yes, but probably not this year. I think I'm kind of set, to be honest. I think I've kind of come to terms with the fact that this is not going to be an ideal week for me, and I'm just hoping for the best. Start Saka or Tony. Tony. My midfield is Matoma, March, Rashford, Grealish. Do I play Saka? I think I would play Saka ahead of Grealish. Just because of penalties. That's the only real reason. Henry or Botman? Botman. Solanke or Andreas? Solanke, I think. What do you mean Fernandez out? Confirmed on Instagram. Confirmed by who? Do you mean is it just the Fernandez wife's picture? Oh, I'm still going to check Instagram though. You got me a bit worried. I don't even know if I follow Bruno Fernandes. Oh, I do. He's not even posted anything. The last thing he posted was with Lindelof. Captain? I'm just going to captain Haaland. I don't know. I feel like I've kind of come to terms with it. Like I said, that this week is not going to be great. Like I probably will regret not getting Salah in. I'm just not sure whether Odegaard to Salah or Fernandes to Salah is the right call. So I'm just going to go with neither. To be honest with you. Odegaard. Where's all this Odegaard? I don't think there's an issue with Odegaard. To be honest with you. Kane and Odegaard versus Solanke and Salah -4. I gotta be honest, I think there's every chance that Solanke and Salah wins that battle, even with the 4 points taken into account. But for me, I just don't know if I want to have Solanke on the bench. That's the only issue. I don't know why people keep saying poke your Man United sources. I have 0 people for Man United. I think I once got the Ronaldo news, like the first season he was there. Everyone went mental because I got it late, and then they were crying because I didn't say it until I got it. But apart from that, no one, unfortunately. Quick captain other than Erling. I would go for Watkins or Salah. I would go Salah because I love Salah, but yeah. You got a minute, 27 seconds to make your choices. If you're taking those hits or you're popping those wild cards, you better do it now. I'm rolling with this. I think I'm going to play Fernandes and just hope he's an absolute machine and he's back. And if he's not, he probably won't be in the squad and Odegaard will just come on anyway. There will be a little bit of a worry if tomorrow Ten Hag says we'll have to see and then Odegaard smashes it against Man City and then I got to wait and see if Fernandes plays or not. But I think that's what I'm going to roll with. I think if Odegaard had a better fixture, I would just happily bench Fernandes. Because it's Man City away, I'm going to take the risk. I'm not sure that's the right move, though, if I'm honest. Goalkeeper for Raya or Ward. I have 0.5 million in the bank, or keep them. I'd probably just keep them for now. I think it's okay playing Ray. Decide next week. Salah or Haaland if you're chasing in mini league. Depends how much you're chasing by. You could go for Salah, yeah. But if it's not that far, we'll just go Haaland. Bada, thank you very much. Abdullah, Matoma and March or Saka and one of the Brighton mids. Matoma and March or Saka. I'd play the Brighton mids ahead of Saka, I think. Okay, I think I'm locked in. The game's not locked in. We've got 20 seconds, but I'm going to just roll with this. I've got Watkins vice captain, by the way. I'm not sure if I'm actually happy with that, or whether it should be Rashford or Kane instead, but tis what it is. Fernandez ankle injury down for Thursday. Absolutely he is. Absolutely he is. Right, are we locked in? Not yet. Now we are. We're locked in. Oh, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this week. But I do have 2 free transfers to double game week 34, so that is good. I've got a feeling that Odegaard and Botman are going to be coming off my bench. And I think there's even a chance that Shaw could come on as well. Because Fernandez could miss out. March, maybe. I don't know. The rest of them probably should be okay. Yeah, make sure to give the stream a like if you haven't already. Before you all jump off, by the way, I'm trying to hit 340k before the end of the season, subscribers. And we're on 339,096. If you haven't already hit subscribe, make sure you do. It'd be much appreciated. I had no idea the deadline was 6 p.m. Oof. Will I do a knee jerk this week? Oh, good question. I think the answer is probably no. Because the game week won't be finished until like quarter past 10 on Thursday. So probably not, to be honest with you. Team selection will be Friday morning. And then we'll kind of go from there. This game week feels more stressful than normal. I was feeling a little bit stressful about it last night. When the Fernandez stuff first came out with the picture. And I was a little bit worried. But in the end, I feel kind of okay about it. But we'll see. We shall see. I hope you're all hitting the subscribe button, by the way. Let me have a look now. Yeah, 339,111. We could get 340k right now if enough of you hit the button. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Captaincy is the worst decision this week. I think you just go Haaland. It's quite easy. What time is the deadline tonight? The deadline is about 1 minute ago. Oh yeah, good luck for those of you on wildcards. Kind of forgot about that people have popped that. Going to be a lot of people thinking about it for next week as well. Do I have to do another wildcard draft video? Not sure there's any point. It'll basically be the same team, apart from you won't have to worry about bench boost. I guess it could be a little bit different without the bench. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. I might just do nothing tomorrow. I bought a bike recently. I've got to take it back already. Got to take it back to be looked at. Any bike experts in? I did message my mate actually. He did tell me. Said it might be the pedal or the crank, but I just don't really know anything about bikes. But it's clicking every time it goes round on the right hand side. It's annoying. I've got to take that back tomorrow. Do you watch any American sports? Not really. I was randomly watching some. WWE videos yesterday from like 2000, like Stone Cold era, Stone Cold Rock, etc. Bike guy, yeah. I messaged my mate, bike guy, Cypro. I'm just taking it back tomorrow, just to get it looked at. It is a giant bike though. Yeah, the chain catching maybe, but like it doesn't. I can't see. I'm rubbish with stuff like this. I can't see anything obvious. I've like tried. Bringing the back wheel up and just turning it around, but I can't really see anything obvious, so I don't know. Those have been popping up on my time, like I've all over like Instagram and stuff. Been seeing loads of them. What bike is it? It's a giant Rome 4, I think. I've only ridden it like twice for like maybe 17 kilometers total or something like that, and then it happened. So it's not my knee clicking. I mean, trust me, I know what the sound of my knee clicking sounds like. It's not quite that. You need a Let's Talk Bikes channel. Yeah. Can I make a watch list video? Yeah, maybe. We'll see if anything interesting happens tonight. Problem is, there's not really like from an FPL point of view going forward. There's literally no interesting games tonight. Like, there is obviously if you own Maddison and like Watkins could be good, but in terms of planning for the future, none of these 6 teams are really in my thoughts for 34 onwards. Like, I guess selling Watkins, but I'm probably going to do that in 36. So it's Wednesday and Thursday where the real action happens for me. Like, what happens with Man United, Man City, Liverpool, etc. Probably defective bottom bracket. I'm worrying if it's me. Like, have I broken it? Have I done something to it? But I've only been out on it twice. Cable is stretching, gears need adjusting. But after 2 rides, like that's not good, surely. 2 rides. I was even thinking, like, is it a weight issue or something like that? When Watkins is your captain tonight, it's very interesting. Yeah, I guess that makes it. But I'm really talking about future. I'm not talking, like, obviously there's some interesting stuff for 33, but for 34 onwards, not great. Whack a GoPro on the helmet and go live on the bike. Maybe could do that one day. Do you think your show will start going on tour, especially during pre-season? I just don't know if people will be that interested in that. And also, you've probably got to go and do it in places like London, and it's boring because everyone does everything in London. Bike just needs some tightening. Yeah, I'll take it back tomorrow anyway. I'll let the pros look at it. I basically rang them and said, I've only been out on it twice. Any chance you know what it could be? And they're like, we just need to look at it. So they built it for me, so yeah. I'm probably not going to be coming to do a pre-season show in America. No, don't think so. Not on the plans. Must be those Irish roads. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Anyway, we probably don't need to. We probably don't need to do any more bike talk because I ain't got a clue about them. Am I riding the child's bike? No. NFL drafts on Thursday. I can't get into NFL. I went and watched NFL with some friends in Wembley, and I kind of get why everyone likes it, like the show and all that kind of stuff. But who are we watching? Atlanta. What's the Atlanta? What's Atlanta called? American football. Oh, the Falcons. Yeah, I think it was the Falcons versus someone. And every time they would the ball would go down or they get a few yards, they just did that annoying. It was the first. I think it might have been the first down, and then was it like some whistling? I was just like, just stop, just start. It's a load of rubbish. I would go again though. I would go again because it's kind of fun to watch every once in a while, but I couldn't watch it week in week out. I don't think. Yeah, I think it's very hard to get into like some American sports when you're used to like football is obviously the drama for such a low scoring game. Then again, I used to watch cricket, so I can't really say too much. Right, I'm going to leave it there anyway. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for talking about Buonanotte and bicycles and chains and brackets and NFL and stuff. Give the stream a like if you haven't already. I have watched Mario, yeah. I might be going to the Ashes. Yeah, so I should probably think about that a bit more. But yes, I'm off. Give the stream a like, hit subscribe, and I will catch you. I'll probably catch you again for the deadline stream. That'll be the next live stream, but obviously we'll do videos in between. So, and don't worry, I'll update you and let you know if the bike gets fixed tomorrow. See you later.